welcome to Jiva's Happiness Hour, a time when we gather together virtually since we can't be together in a rehearsal hall or on stage. My name is Perone Yousafzadeh, and I'm the Associate Artistic Director and Director of Engagement at Jiva. In addition to taking up cooking and bread baking and hanging out with my cat, I've also been listening to a lot of podcasts in this time alone, in a way to have a bit of company. One of my favorites, Unlocking Us with Brene Brown, recently hit upon something I think we're all feeling, a collective sense of weariness and a realization that what we're in is a marathon, not a sprint. So whether you are a brave frontline worker or a member of their family, whether you are homeschooling your kids or sheltering in place alone, today's Happiness Hour is our small gift to you to help you recharge and find a bit of peace and solace in this very challenging time. I am so grateful to be joined by such a wonderful group of people who are part of Jiva's family from afar, as well as local artists, business owners, and teachers who are just wonderful gifts to our Rochester community. With us today, we have Danielle Rinallo from Pele Yoga, Laurie Broccolo from Broccolo Garden Center, Kristen Zory King, a teaching artist with Writers and Books, Imani Olear, co-owner and instructor with True Yoga, Mari Vial-Golden, an actor you may fondly remember from Heartland and a master of all things self-care, and Dan Howell, personal trainer with Max Effort Training. Welcome, everyone. Danielle, Pele is Jiva's neighbor. Tell us a bit about the philosophy of Pele and your current online offerings now that we're social distancing.
Yeah, so the philosophy of Pele Yoga really came out of a trip that I took to Hawaii to recharge and reset at a time in my life when I was, feeling anxious and needed some new direction. And so Pele is the name of the Hawaiian volcano goddess. And so we're really inspired by this practice of adapting and, recharging, resetting, and using yoga-based movement, creative movement, and breath to do so. So we've been transitioning onto online programming and doing virtual recorded classes, so you can do it at your convenience at home. And we've just started a free yoga challenge. So you'll get an email in your inbox, and it would also provide you tips and other resources to really manage stress relief and staying engaged in our life during a time when we are feeling isolated. So that's who we are.
That's fantastic. And I know sometimes people can be intimidated if they don't do yoga regularly or feel like they have all the right equipment. And what I love so much about your approach is that it really meets folks where they are. And as we'll see in the video, it's very easy to do a bit of recentering at home with not a single extra prop or tool or gadget, right?
Exactly. So the sequence that I'm bringing via the video today is accessible. I wear jeans in the video, so you don't need any special yoga clothes, or you don't need a yoga mat. If that's something that interests you, plugging onto our website, you can find the resources there. But otherwise, yeah, making it accessible and creative so that our brain and mind and body can reset.
Awesome. Let's take a look.
Hi, Jiva Theater folks. My name is Danielle Rinallo. I am the founder at Pele Yoga here in Rochester. We're actually located right next to Jiva in the same building as Fuego Coffee. And I'm so grateful that they reached out to me to offer you a short movement sequence that's yoga based. So there's an emphasis on the breath and mindfulness. And it's really to offer you a little bit of stress relief or an opportunity to recenter, just reset in whatever it is that you're dealing with during these uncertain and challenging times. So I hope you'll join me. It's a quick sequence. You don't need anything special, no yoga mat or any fancy yoga clothes. Just scoot forward and join me on your couch and let's do some movement together. So as I said, you don't need anything special to do this yoga-based movement. It's simple and accessible, and I'm grateful that you're joining us. So scooting forward on your couch or wherever you're sitting so that you can sit up nice and tall. And then the invitation is to ground your hands on your knees and then lift your heart up and look up a little bit, rolling your shoulders back, taking a breath in. And then on the exhale, you're gonna round your spine, tuck your chin, keep your hands on your knees, and curl. Right, a couple times with your breath. So you're gonna wing your tailbone back and lift your heart and breathe in. And then on the exhale, rounding and curling through the spine. Really pushing into upper back and the shoulders. Cool. This time, lift your heart up and reach your arms up at the same time. And then you're gonna interlace your fingers and exhale, push the hands out in front of you and round through the back. Cool, do that again. Inhaling and sweeping the arms up, so you're increasing the mobility in those shoulders, and then weave the fingertips together and round. Awesome, reaching your arms up. This time we're gonna do a side bend, so take your left hand, place it down maybe on the arm of your couch and curl over the side. Then you're gonna just lift straight back up, other arm reaches. And then exhale over to the right. Cool, we're gonna do that again and add on a little bit. So reach your right arm up and over. On the exhale, you're gonna curl round through your chin and chest. Hands touch your knees, here we go. Inhale and roll your spine up and look up. Exhale, interlace your hands and push your hands forward and curl. Wild, inhale, reach both arms up. And then let's take it to the other side. So over on the exhale, curling through the spine. Hands touch the knees. You got it. Inhale and lift your heart, lift your chest. Tuck your chin and interlace your hands and push your hands away. Good. Sweep both arms up. Breathe in and lift. And then hands come to your heart center. Just pausing here for a moment. Maybe palms on your chest or palms pressing together at your heart. And feeling your breath, noticing what's shifted in your body. The simple vinyasa flow or breath and movement tends to help get the blood flowing, and there's a mindfulness component to it where, you know, when we're moving with the breath, the mind can't be anywhere else. So it's this meditation in motion. A lot of us want to meditate, but maybe don't want to sit and, or the mind gets really busy in the simplicity of sitting. And so this directing the mind to the breath and to the movement can be a very effective way to start to calm the mind and to focus the mind. So I hope this is useful for you. You could continue with me if it's possible. Scoot your right foot out in front of you, and the invitation is to extend your right leg, sit up nice and tall, and then start to hinge forward a little bit. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Hopefully you feel this on the back of your hamstring. And then the invitation is to follow the breath. A few breaths so you can lean into it a little bit. And then we'll move with the breath again. So the invitation is on your exhale to drop your chin, your chest, and round through the spine. You'll feel this in your low back. And then inhaling to scoop and roll back up. Yeah, let's do it again. So exhaling to go forward. And inhaling to roll up. One more. Exhale it forward and rounding. Inhaling to scoop back up. Great, and let's do it on the other leg. So extending your other leg out, pitching your chest forward. So first, we ease into it here, drawing that right hip back, drawing your heart forward, really rolling the shoulders back. You'll feel this more in your hamstring. And then when we start to wave it, you'll feel it in your low back. So on the exhale, rounding forward, dropping down. And then inhaling, roll back up. Good, again, exhaling to round forward, dropping the chest and the chin. And inhaling up. You should feel this all along the back body. Exhale forward. Inhale. To rise. Good. Both feet down as you exhale, finding that center point. Beautiful. Reaching both arms back up to breathe in. Interlace the hands. Exhale and round. Good. Inhaling, lifting it up. Adding on the legs. Let's send the right leg forward. Exhale it down and drop your chin, chest. Inhale to roll up. Other leg to round back down. Inhale to roll up. And then that exhale to roll your shoulders back and settle. Amazing. Both arms back up as you inhale. And then that recentering point, hands to your chest or palms to your heart. Let's give yourself a little props for actually doing it, right? Taking the time to move and breathe. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, right? Is just getting started. I understand that, and I totally applaud you for taking the time to do it. It's really important, and it just takes that first step, and then usually we feel good. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please come to peleyoga.com to find a fuller expression of a yoga practice if that's something that interests you, and you'll learn about what our plans are when we reopen. We'd love to see you in the studio sometime soon. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Danielle. That was great.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me a part of this. I appreciate it.
I'm going to start instituting that as a little break from all of the working at the computer. I mean, just even as a breather from sitting at a desk all day, it could do so much. So I'm adding that to my daily routine.
Awesome.
Thanks again. Looking forward to joining you in the studio when it's safe to do so. I am going to now shift over to Kristen. Welcome once again. Now, you're a teaching artist for writers and books, but where are you zooming in from today?
I'm actually zooming in from Washington, D.C., where I'm based. I've lived here since 2016. I was a staff member at Writers and Books from 2012 to 2014, but I'm a current teaching artist, and one of the benefits of online classes and everything switching to virtual is I've been more active in teaching there again in the last few weeks.
Oh, fantastic. I understand you have a writing exercise for us to do.
I do. I have 2 writing exercises for us today.
Oh, great. Even better.
So if everyone could grab a notebook, pen, pencil, or even just open up a word processing browser, however you feel comfortable writing. So for me, writing is all about the details. It's about noticing and observing and grounding yourself to small, intimate moments in your life. And in addition, I think that slowing down to notice, reflect, and kind of describe the details around you can really ground you in gratitude and the present moment and help your writing flow. So I'm going to take us through 2 quick writing exercises. Feel free to write whatever comes to mind, whether it's a poem, a memory, reflection, journal entry, fiction, nonfiction. There's no judgment here. There's no critique here. We're just kind of getting our ideas and our words on the page. We're going to do these quickly, but for those at home, I do encourage you to come back and return to these and maybe spend some more time writing with them. So the first one, if you have your writing utensils, for our first prompt, I want you to think through your day. And I want you to write down all the little details, from the steam on your cup of coffee, the sound of birds outside your window, the way the trees are blooming, maybe what you had for lunch. Maybe you noticed that there were some dust bunnies under your bed. Really, whatever it is, dig into the mundane and trying to use all of your senses. Describe each moment. Okay, just a couple more moments. So if you want to end on a thought or a word, phrase. And as we're finishing up, I'm curious if anyone has a detail from their day that they'd like to share. I can go first while we decide if we're going to be brave. And also, if anyone in the comments wants to comment any details from their day, I'm looking forward to reading them. But one small moment or detail from my day that I wrote down was I captured a bee earlier that was in my house flying around. I captured him in a glass and then took him outside and left the glass outside. And when I went out to get the glass, he was still in there. I said perhaps he was excited to see the world through a painted glass. Does anyone else have something they'd want to share before we move on to the next one?
I can share something.
Sure.
So we have a family of fox living in our backyard, which is really exciting. And this morning, one of the foxes was sleeping on our deck. So we all like ran out and like hovered by like the window, just watching this fox sleeping. So I just described what I saw. So when I opened the screen, the fox jumped up and looked at me. Eventually, he roused himself fully, scratched his ears like a cat, did a downward dog, and pranced up the hill and into a tree.
I love that. Thank you. Danielle, did you want to share?
I wrote down just like little snippets of what I did throughout the day and the things that are standing out for me. I'm like vividly remembering the smile of someone that I walked by and that greeting that was really fulfilling. And yeah, and like moments. Yeah, that moment really stood out. So it was nice to recall my day and and touch those moments that were touching me then to elevate my experience now. So
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Yeah, it's there's a real intimacy to kind of thinking through the small moments that you've shared with yourself and with others, especially in this moment. So we're going to move on to the next prompt. This comes from a poem called Good Bones by the poet Maggie Smith. I'll read through the poem and then we'll do the prompt. Life is short, though I keep this from my children. Life is short, and I've shortened mine in 1,000 delicious, ill-advised ways. 1,000 deliciously ill-advised ways I'll keep from my children. The world is at least 50% terrible, and that's a conservative estimate, though I keep this from my children. For every bird, there is a stone thrown at a bird. For every loved child, a child broken, bagged, sunk in a lake. Life is short, and the world is at least half terrible, and for every kind stranger, there is one who would break you, though I keep this from my children. I am trying to sell them the world. Any decent realtor walking you through a real shithole chirps on about good bones. This place could be beautiful, right? You could make this place beautiful. So again, that was Good Bones by Maggie Smith. So our prompt based off of this poem is, I want you to think through the line, I am trying to sell them the world. Of course, there are all kinds of things happening right now, big and little, good and bad. And I want you to kind of ground yourself in some of the details that you wrote out earlier, the small moments, and make a list of all the ways that you would sell me the world. Okay, so sell me the world in 2 minutes. Here we go. Okay, you have just a few moments left. If you want to end on a word or a phrase, something to maybe return to later. And again, I do encourage everyone to return to this later. So does anyone have anything they would like to share? One or two ways that they would like to sell me the world. Yes, Imani.
So I recounted my morning on how I always stretch my toes. And so how I would try to sell you the world is at 5 a.m. every morning when I awake and I stretch my toes and I look over to the left and right and I hear the morning doves and the woodpecker behind me and I hear Chester the lion with his mighty roar. And I hear Jenna and Lilac, the elephants that live right behind me. Even though Chana has died, they still continue on. In their regal ways, I can still stretch my toes and continue again.
That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Sold. Does anyone else want to share? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thinking about this morning and what really connects me every morning is the sound of the birds. And the surprise over the past few weeks of how much more I'm able to connect with that sound, because the drowning out from the road noise or the sky noise has pretty much completely disappeared. And what was really interesting this morning is I'm starting to take that for granted. And all of a sudden there was a loud engine that started down the road. And it really took me by surprise. And I started questioning, well, what is that? And why are they doing that? And it was a mower or a blower or something like that. But it just gave me this reminder that we have a gift right now, in a sense, with nature to really explore and get connected, so much more so than we have in the flurry of our everyday business for the past several years.
Yeah.
But stop and smell the roses. That's really what I kind of ended on. It's something I've always heard and I try to remind myself to do and remind some of our employees to do when we're trying to please all the clients. So yeah, just take that pause.
Thank you. So thank you all for doing this, for sharing your words with me, for writing with me. And there's plenty more available at Writers and Books. They have a number of online workshops coming up. Also, for those who are more inclined to read than write, their bookstore, Ampersand Books, is delivering. They deliver directly to your doorstep, and it comes from the warehouse, not from the bookstore, so there's minimal contact.
Thank you so much, Kristen. That was so much fun and something I feel like I'm just gonna have so many new self-care routines, y'all. So excited. The website for Writers and Books is www.wab.org. So please check it out, support local businesses. Instead of our usual cocktail, our guest services manager, Scott Folkowski, has prepared a couple of smoothies in order to do a body good. So let's check those out.
$3.99, 400. Oh, hi there, Scott Folkowski, your guest services manager here. You got perfect timing. I just finished a workout and I'm about to make a nutritious and delicious smoothie that I've named the Stagehand because it gives an amazing behind the scenes performance and makes you look and feel good. So why don't you stay and join me? So the ingredients you're going to need for this smoothie are 1 cup of spinach, 1/2 of an avocado, 1/2 of a banana, 1/2 cup of frozen blueberries, some ice, 2 cups of milk. You can use any milk that you'd like. Today I'm using a protein nut milk. You're more than welcome to use dairy milk, lactose-free milk, whatever your flavor is. And then you're also going to want to add 3 scoops, which equals 93 grams of protein powder. Now, if you don't like protein powder, that's okay. I'm going to do a second smoothie with a slight variation. But for now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take all those ingredients and put them into a blender. stuff here. I actually have this every morning for breakfast. So if you're not a big fan of getting up and having a big breakfast, this is quick and easy and nutritious. All right. We're just going to blend it up real well. Give it a good couple seconds so it emulsifies everything for you. And there we go. You're ready to enjoy. Now, like I said, if you don't like the protein powder, that's okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a slight variation on this. Everything's the same. Add in ice, 1 cup of spinach, 2 cups of milk, half an avocado, and instead of a half a banana, we're going to use a full banana. And then instead of the protein powder, we're going to use PB2 peanut butter powder. I'm using 2 tablespoons of that. Put everything in there. Lock that down. Beautiful. And we're ready to enjoy. Fabulous. All right, well, we hope you're staying healthy out there, and we look forward to seeing you at our next tutorial. Until then, stay safe and enjoy your smoothie.
Amazing. I know what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow. Always so grateful to Scott for making such incredible recipes and with such amazing flair to go with it. Great. Laurie, I understand that in addition to running your environmentally conscious gardening and landscaping business, you are also an author. Will you tell us and our viewers a little bit about your book?
So it was interesting just going through this little exercise with writers and books. Over the years, I have tried to journal little experiences, specifically with nature. And so as my kids were growing up and we had close encounters and kind of what could be a scary encounter with different aspects of nature, from slugs and leeches and bees and etc., hornets. I wrote down those experiences, and a couple of years ago, I just decided, I'd like to see if there's a way to put all these little short stories together. So I contacted Writers and Books to see if I could get a little bit of help. I hired a writer to help me put all the stories together, because they were from when the kids, we're talking 35 years ago now, over to, just maybe 8 to 10 years ago. So I've been sitting on these little stories. And so she was able to help weave everything together into a summer experience for kids around 6th grade age, going through all of these true experiences. Creepy Crawlies is a kind of a fun book, and it's local. Sean Dunwoody was the illustrator, who's also local here in Rochester, and he captured all the kids really just wonderfully. And so again, they're true stories, true kids, true experiences. And if people would like to buy it, it's not all that expensive and it's kind of fun to read. It's the proceeds go to the Finger Lakes Museum. So it's just all about connecting people to nature. It's really the gist of it.
Fantastic. Laurie, so many people I know are finding comfort in gardening in this time. Can you tell us a bit about the videos that you and your team at the Garden Center have been making?
So we have this amazing woman, Janine, she goes by Jay Fife, who is just a fantastic educator. And she puts on classes all the time. And since we can't do the classes live, we thought, well, let's just try this live Facebook and see if there's some interest. And they have been an absolute hit. She is just so full of knowledge, trying to connect people to nature, but the weather has not been that conducive. So a couple of them have focused on what can they do inside, like making containers, hypertupa they're called, or how to design using succulent plants for indoors, and some house plants and things like that. So next week we're going to get into victory gardens and hopefully getting people outside, but connecting with nature can happen inside as well.
Absolutely. And I understand that we have a short clip.
So I might take just something like this beautiful succulent and put it in this pot with something with height. So I might put this here, this like that, and I might do something more. I'm just gonna hope that stays. No, it's not gonna stay. But anyway, you can see the idea. And so then I would want to put something that had a little bit of interest, but a different color. So this is a little bit low to the ground, then I've got a medium height, and then I've got a high plant. And we've got the green, the red, and the blue going in that pot. And those drainage pebbles that I had earlier, you might put those on top, or if you have some other stones or any kind of, you know, beautiful little sculptures, you can put that in there. This will look also beautiful, and this right here. Yep, go ahead and move that. So this would be a nice addition in here. So I'm just placing these, giving you ideas. And this could go on your table, your coffee table. This could go on a window, on a shelf. You could put it outside once it, you know, gets nice out.
And just to be clear, you need to take them out of the containers, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Sure. Yep. And I've got macrame hanger. This is a beauty that was made by one of our employees. And this would be great for, you could put one of these cups in here and insert a plant. This pothos would look fantastic in here. And that would be hanging from anything you have in your house. And when you don't have a lot of room, that really helps. I don't have anything to hook it on the ceiling. Just grab a hook, put it on the corner of your bookshelf, on the corner of your kitchen cupboard, and you've got an easy way to hang that macrame. Let's say I can't even put that up. I've got a rod. I put this between two cupboards, and I've got a way to hang lots of hanging plants near the kitchen window. Pretty easy, because those of you in an apartment, you can't poke holes, you can't, you know, mar up anything on the walls. This would be a great addition, and it'll be a beautiful focal point. Let's say we've got this red, or this orange rather, this spring cactus. Inside that, it goes beautifully with those beads. That would be a nice little focal point if you like the color orange. And you could do a little theme with your pillows to match.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laurie. I love that because, you know, I live in an apartment here in the South Wedge, and I know a lot of our viewers have yard space, but if you don't, there's still ways to be able to enjoy greenery and enjoy nature and bring a little bit of it indoors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, when I first moved to Rochester, coming up on, a year ago today, actually, True Yoga was one of the first places where I found community, and it was actually on my little recon missions where I visited Rochester and was trying to figure out which neighborhood I wanted to live in. It was a big selling point for me on the South Wedge, and I ended up here. Imani, can you tell us a bit about True and how you're adjusting in the time of COVID?
Well, I'm so glad to be here with all of you. I'm just like tingling with like excitement, listening and learning. So True, it was interesting. Right before this happened, we started purchasing items to make classes virtual. Cameras, iPads, whatever it may have been, we had no idea that we would have to take our over 30 classes that we offer a week online. And that's what we did. So we offer over 30 classes live with our teachers. We've kept all of our instructors during this time. Some of them have had to opt for various reasons. Some of them are on the front lines, and we're just so grateful for the work that they're doing. But we've also added on what's called Om from Home, which is our on-demand classes. So if you miss one of those, you can like sign in, and just a couple of our teachers, myself and Amy, are the ones that are offering those at this time. So that's how we've adjusted, and we've tried to like buy blocks at cost for people so they can have the props at home just in case, and still offering meditation where people can drop in. So it's been such a gift because, you know, our mission is really about community. And so we've tried to find ways to support them.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. And Imani has put a video together for those of you at home. So once again, you don't need anything for it, nothing special. So feel free to follow along.
Hello, my name is Imani. This is my faithful assistant, Marley. And myself and my husband, Eric, are the owners of True Yoga Studio located in the South Wedge here in Rochester, New York. And we are really excited to be a part of this moment with you. So one of the things in which I have been practicing is a style that is called metta meditation. I've been practicing it probably since for about 8 to 9 years, when I discovered a phrase etched into concrete while walking along a street in Arizona. And that phrase said, "May all beings be happy and free." Now, my knee-jerk reaction to that was, I know some pretty terrible people. I don't know if that's going to happen. But it seemed like the universe just kind of did a little knock on the back of my head and said, "Daughter, how arrogant of you. We all can be happy and free." And so that's when I started looking into what metta was. That phrase, "May all beings be happy and free," in Sanskrit is Loka Somasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And so metta meditation involves that. But it starts here with the self. And so starting with self is what metta is all about. It's like putting your own oxygen mask on in times in which we may feel really great or times when we don't. In times like this, when times are uncertain, we need our own oxygen mask of compassion. That's all it is. Loving kindness to ourselves. Now, it goes on to start speaking on to the person you love. You do the same thing. To the person who makes coffee for you or that you meet at the theater. And then it goes broader. But today, we will do a brief metta meditation through standing. And then I'll give you some grounding postures. So let us begin. So feel the 2 feet underneath you, or feel yourself on a seat. But engage yourself into this moment, whether you're standing with me or seated. And then take 2 or 3 breaths, really noticing how the breath is feeling in the body. Notice maybe how the shirt tugs and releases, or how the breath feels on your nostrils. And then if you feel comfortable or able at this time, just place a hand on the heart and the belly, noticing that rise and fall once again. And then repeat these universal phrases, something that we all wish for. Say to yourself, "May I be happy." At the end of the exhale, repeat the phrase, "May I be healthy or well." And then the third phrase, "May I be safe And then finally, may I be at peace. And that's it. Now there's deeper meanings around being happy. It means beyond the things that are happening in the moment. To be healthy or well, both mentally and physically. To be safe from those inner kind of chatters that we have versus, and also those outer chatters. And may we just be at peace and beginning to see ourselves with love. And so, now that you've grounded yourself in that breath, now let's ground into the body. And you're going to be close to a wall for this. And then you're just going to turn facing the wall and really like lift the toes, spread them to the ball of your feet, the heel press in, and then allow the toes to land. And just find yourself possibly about arm's length away from the wall. Reset your grounding. And so these are modified sun salutation A that we can do anywhere. So as you feel your body extend down and up, you inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold over. Adjust. Allow the head to come near the biceps. This is your downward dog. Inhale, bend into the elbows, bend one of the knees, lift through the chest for a modified cobra, getting hamstring stretch. Exhale, push back out into your downward dog. Inhale, move back into the other knee, into that cobra, bending the elbows. Exhale, push it back out. And you can do that a few times, getting length in the spine, engaging the shoulder blades down the back, and also getting some length in the hamstrings. Now you can add that to your metta meditation with each inhale and exhale, adding those phrases. So standing, you inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, fold over. May I be happy. Inhale, press through. May I be healthy. Exhale, may I be safe. Inhale, may I be at peace. Exhale, downward dog. And then after that feeling of groundingness and that breath work, hopefully you too can feel a little bit more loving kindness to yourself. If you have any more questions, you can reach us at trueyoga@gmail.com. Take care.
That was so beautiful. Thank you, Imani.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think it's such an important thing to note that those inner voices, I think in this time can get kind of loud, and to offer us a meditation that quiets them and brings us back to ourselves, I think is just such a gift. So thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to do it.
Oh my gosh, can't wait to be back in the studio. I can't tell you. Mari, my friend.
Hello.
Hi. Now, where are you joining us from?
I am in California right now, in Marin County, at my dad's house. I'm in my childhood bedroom right now, actually.
Amazing. Amazing. Some of our viewers may remember Mari from the world premiere at Jiva Theater Center of Heartland by Gabriel Jason Dean, which I was just fortunate to direct and to get to come across and work with this exceptional human being. Now, I remember that rehearsal process so fondly, and one of the things I remember was that I think that for every day that went by, you had another tip or trick for me to help me deal with an ache, a pain, to help me boost my immune system, and I just felt like I was just drinking in knowledge every single day. How did you develop this incredible wealth, and where did it come from for you?
It's a great question. It really mostly came from my family, from my parents. So my dad has been an acupuncturist and a Chinese herbalist for coming up on 40 years. And my mom was also an acupuncturist and an herbalist. So I grew up surrounded by certain like Eastern traditions and philosophies and healing modalities. And yeah, in a broader sense, just this understanding that we should approach health from a holistic perspective. So understanding how our thoughts, our emotions, our internal well-being, our physical well-being, what's going on in the outside world, those things are all connected and feed into each other. So that was just sort of like a framework for me my whole life. And I think, then set me on my own kind of journey and exploration to incorporate other practices, yoga, being one of them, and other understandings of health. But that was really, the baseline for me.
Amazing. I know that for me, pleasant aromas can do so much for my mood and can do so much to sort of alter my whole perspective on the world. And so I would love for us to now watch a video where Mari will walk us through a special aromatherapy blend in order to soothe our spirits.
Hi everyone, I'm Mari. Welcome to my family's kitchen. I am going to give a little demonstration of how to make a simple restorative aromatherapy spray that you can use in your home. So the spray we're going to make is a modified version of this spray called Restore, which is a product in my dad's line called Midnight Sun Medicinals. So my dad is an acupuncturist and a Chinese herbalist, and he makes all these products by hand using a synergistic blend of traditional Chinese herbal medicine and Western herbs and essential oils. And the line of products contains a whole bunch of different things. There's healing salves for muscle and joint issues, skin issues, serums and moisturizers for your face, your body, beard care, lip balms, and aromatherapy sprays. So aromatherapy, for those of you who don't know, is basically just plant medicine. It's the process of utilizing the healing properties from the aroma of different botanicals and essential oils to address a variety of things to influence our mood, our emotions, our energy levels. So obviously we're in a very stressful time right now collectively. And for me personally, I find that any sort of small practice of self-care that I can incorporate into my life is really helpful in alleviating some of that stress and anxiety. So that's where aromatherapy comes in, basically. So for me, it's also just about enjoying the way something smells and how it makes you feel. So, like I said, this is going to be a sort of modified version of this product. We're not going to use all the essential oils in it. We're just going to focus on 3 essential oils that are a little bit easier to come by, all the stuff you can find online. So for a 2-ounce bottle, we're going to start with a base of distilled water and witch hazel. So I'm using one of my dad's fancy beakers right now, but for making this for home use, it doesn't need to be this formal. I'm basically starting with 2/3 parts of the distilled water. So that's a little over 1.25 ounces. Very official measurement. And then I'm going to add to this witch hazel to bring it up to just below 2 ounces. And the witch hazel is really just utilized as a preservative. So if you don't have witch hazel or it's something that you can't get, you can even use vodka, basically. It's just, since it's water-based, we want it to last for a little bit. And then, so I now have my base of water and witch hazel. For a 2-ounce bottle, I'm going to use about 20 drops of the essential oils. And the one I'm going to focus on mostly is lavender, which has a very calming, soothing, relaxing aroma. And so first I'm just going to shake up the bottle a little bit. So I am going to use 12 drops of this. And again, like it doesn't actually have to be that exact. So you just sort of tap it at the bottom. Okay, that was about 12. And then I'm going to add about 5 drops, it already smells so good, of bergamot, which is a little bit like brighter, a little fruitier, kind of uplifting smell. So I'm just gonna do the same thing, just to shake it a little bit. I'm gonna do about 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops. And then I'm just going to finish off with just 3 drops of ylang ylang, which is my favorite essential oil. It definitely has like a stronger smell, which is why we're only using a little bit of it. Let's see. It's also thicker, it takes longer. There, 3 drops of that. Amazing. That's basically it. The other cool thing about aromatherapy is you can basically modify it to be whatever you want. So whatever essential oils you have or can find, or just whatever aromas you're personally drawn to. So then I'm going to take the blend that I have, I'm going to pour it into a spray bottle. The one thing that is important when using essential oils is ideally to have a dark colored bottle. So I'm just using a black plastic bottle. And that's just because the sunlight can affect the essential oil. So you do want to keep it in a dark bottle. Black plastic or like a glass amber bottle is good. Gonna pour it in, okay. Then I'm gonna just put the spray thing in it. Gonna shake it up. You shake it up every time before you use it. Yeah, and then you spray it away from your face and your body. You can't smell it through the camera, but it smells really nice. Yeah, and that's basically it. I'm going to link to my dad's website, which is midnightsunmedicinals.com. You can read up there and learn more about essential oils and aromatherapy and Chinese herbs, and also check out some of his other products.
Thank you so much, Mari. That was awesome. And something we can all so easily do at home.
Totally, thank you.
Yeah. Looking forward to checking out your dad's website. It's pretty new, right?
It is. It is very, very new. So, people have to bear with us as we iron out the kinks, but it's an exciting new venture for him. So
awesome. Congratulations. And last but certainly not least, hey, Dan, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. So you work as a personal trainer, which is something I've always thought about trying and have never quite worked up the courage. Can you tell us a bit about Max Effort Fitness and how you've adapted to staying at home while maintaining a workout routine?
Yeah, for sure. So again, like every business, it's been tricky and challenging to figure out the ins and outs of how suddenly we go from something that's so personal to doing it online, and it's still delivering that same experience. So a big part of our philosophy at Max Effort Training is that we take a holistic approach to wellness. So we're not here just for exercise prescription. We're not going to have you come in and just tell you, do these exercises and send you on your way. We want to help you find ways to integrate wellness into your life and make the fitness aspect that we have a knowledge base on an important part of your daily life. So for us, it's been just continuing the constant communication with our clients. Some of them, they're in situations where it's not possible right now, and we totally get it, but we still check in with them to make sure they're hanging in there, they're doing okay, and see if there's anything we can do to help them out. And a lot of us are working with clients through FaceTime calls, Zoom meetings, Skype, whatever might work best for them. So we've been able to continue a lot of things, which has been kind of a fun challenge for us to give them exercises at home that doesn't use equipment, because most of them aren't going to have a lot of stuff at home. So it's been a challenge, but it's been really rewarding for us to see the tenacity people have to stick with it and still take time for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this time, so many of our routines have been turned upside down. And I know you have a video that gives a lot of really great tips on how to find that sense of routine, even though everything has been shaken up and disrupted. So let's take a look.
Hi everyone, my name is Dan Howell and I am a personal trainer with Max Effort Training located in Henrietta, New York. I'm so excited to be talking to you today about what you can do to stay active, stay healthy, and get some movement in during these very confusing times. As you can see, I am joining you today from my beautiful basement. We have converted part of our basement space into a workout space. We knew that once this was going to go longer than we ever thought it would, that we need to carve out a space in our home to still have somewhere to go to be active. When everything started shutting down and the gym I work for closed for the time being, we moved some of the equipment we had into our dining room. And I thought, well, this is great. It's right there. We just have to walk to the next room since we're spending most of our time in the living room and the dining room already. Let's just put some workout equipment in here. And it turned out to be one of those things that was almost too accessible, so we never actually used it. So we cleaned out part of the basement, made a space, and I have to say it's made a huge difference for us to have a spot we can actually go to. So we still have some of that I'm getting ready to go to the gym feeling that we usually had before everything got shut down. So we still have that process of, okay, I'm gonna put on my workout clothes, I'm gonna get my stuff together, I'm gonna go downstairs. It's still separate from everything else in the household, separate from everything else going on. I can put on the music I want to listen to while I'm working out. My husband can listen to what he wants to listen to when he's down here. We have separate times to work out, and it's great that we still have some sort of regularity to our schedule. And that's made a huge difference for us getting into the mental space of, okay, I'm going to take this hour to an hour and a half to just focus on myself. Some days it might only be 20 minutes, and that's still great. We still have that option to go somewhere else. Still have that feeling of, this is the thing I'm doing today. Not a, well, I'm in the same spot and I'm just going to change what I'm doing. So if you're able to, I really strongly encourage you to find a small spot you can carve out, whether it's in a guest room, maybe it's a spot carved out in your bedroom, whatever it might be. Really try and focus on making a spot that you find a way to actually travel to. So you're still making it part of your day. You've figured out when during the day you're going to go to that spot. Even though it's still in your home, you can still make it an event to go to. And that's going to be important for you to kind of mentally separate that, okay, now I'm doing something different from everything else I'm doing during the day, and I'm going to focus on this. And focusing on what you can is so important right now. One of the big phrases we always say to our clients at Max Effort Training is, some is better than none. So right now, anything you can get in, whether it's some sort of physical activity, stretching, going for walks, whatever it might be, that's great. You're doing a great job. I promise you, anything you can do is amazing. These are unprecedented times, as we all know, and we've heard over and over again. So whatever you can do is amazing. And I think it's great that so many people are looking for new activities, they're finding new ways to get active, and they're exploring some new options. So if you go for a 10-minute walk every day, and that's all you're gonna do, that's fantastic. If you wanna build upon new things you haven't tried before, find ways to do things you have done before, that's also great. Anything you can do is totally awesome. So this is an opportunity to explore new things that maybe you haven't done before. Maybe it's a way to explore things you have done, but clearly you can't do in your home. We have been fortunate enough that since I'm a personal trainer, I've had some equipment at home, but I clearly don't have a gym in my house, so I'm not doing the things I normally do. So I've found ways to adapt what I do. I've worked with my boss to find ways to change workouts to be the most effective they can be while I'm at home, while I have a limited access to equipment. And it's been great, but it's a challenge every day to tell myself, okay, well, I really need to do this because at some point things are going to go back and I want to be ready for it. And I need to take this time every day for myself to focus on me and what I might need. Because what's important right now is focusing on you, seeing what you need, and finding ways to get creative with what you're doing. Find ways to work with the people you're self-isolating with. What can you do together? If you're a couple or a family or whatever your situation might be, are there people you can partner with to explore activities that you might do? Maybe it's taking a walk as a family. Maybe it's your neighbor across the street and you take socially distant walks down opposite sides of the street while you've got your masks on. Whatever it might be. We have access to county parks. We have access to the canal paths, to the river trail down along the Genesee. We have ways to get out and get walking and still be able to do it safely. Always want to make sure you have your mask on when you're out in public, but you can get out and get some sort of activity in, and that's amazing. Take your dogs for more walks than normal because they're probably also starting getting a little bored of you being home. I know our two dogs kind of look at us some days like, don't you have to go to the office at this point? But there's plenty of ways to get active and get moving. And this might be an opportunity for you while you're at home to explore activities you haven't tried before or you've always been curious about. So at Max Effort Training, we have moved a majority of our classes online. So now that we're offering virtual classes, you have the ability to try out a class you might not have gone to a facility to try out right from the comfort of your own home. And as a bonus, no one else can see you in the class. So classes are delivered in a way where you only see the instructor, so you don't have to feel that intimidation like, am I getting on a Zoom call with like 4 other people who are professional Zumba people and I don't even know what Zumba means? Nope. You get to do it right at home. No one can see you except maybe the people you live with, but maybe if you carve out that separate spot in your house, they won't see what you're doing. You can try different classes, whether it's Zumba, whether it's Pio, whatever it might be. This is a great opportunity to try something different. And I will say right now, we have definitely seen an uptick in our class attendance, and that's great to see people trying to find ways to get active and get moving. We're also offering a special deal right now where it's just $10 a week to take any class we offer during that week at any time. Since our classes are delivered in real time, but they're available all the time for the rest of that week. If there's a class that we offer at Monday at noon that you can't get to because you're also now homeschooling your kids while you're also working full time, you can take that class at night. It's still available. And if you really like it, you can take it every day that week. And that's fantastic. It's a great way to explore new things, find what you like, what maybe you don't like, and that's also totally fine too. This is a great opportunity to look at some different things. So I invite you to visit our website at maxefforttraining.com to see all of the services we offer. When we are normally up and running, we offer one-on-one personal training, which, by the way, we do offer virtually. We will do one-on-one personal training with you, just like this, through a video session right in your home. Now that one I will say, we will see you because we do need to see what you're doing while you're personal training. And if you don't have any equipment at home, that's also fine. There are plenty of things we can help you do right at home to get active and get moving. We offer one-on-one personal training, small group training, group fitness classes, massage therapy, dietitian services, and a host of other wellness services that might be right for you, your family, people you know at work, whatever it might be. We have something to help you get active and get moving. So again, I invite you to visit us at maxefforttraining.com, check out our services, and see what we have. But most importantly, I hope you're staying well, I hope you're staying safe, and I hope you're able to take time to focus on yourself and your loved ones, those around you, and how we can all support each other. These are crazy times, and we all need to lean on each other to feel good, to feel healthy, and to feel well every day. So stay healthy and stay safe. And as always, for Max Effort Training, have a great day.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think it's such a helpful reminder that you don't need a lot of stuff in order to be able to take care of yourself, and we can be really adaptable and find creative solutions to those seemingly large obstacles. So thanks for that reminder.
Yeah, of course.
Great. For those of you watching at home, I hope you're now sheltering in peace. Please check out the websites of our amazing guests to learn more and support small businesses who need us so much in this time in order to persevere through this moment. Thanks also to Andrew Wilhelm, our editor-in-chief, Jen Lyons, our supervising producer, Scott Folkowski and Dan Howell for our fantastic drink videos, Amanda Reichskins for her marketing magic, and thanks to all of you out there for joining us today. If you joined us late or want to rewatch a recipe or a yoga sequence, you can watch our Complete Happiness Hour on our Facebook page and on the Jiva YouTube channel. You can watch previous happiness hours and listen to episodes of our podcast out of the rehearsal hall and learn more about our upcoming virtual gala at jivacurtaincall.com. We'll be back again next Friday with another edition of Jiva Happiness Hour. Next week, we'll take a peek behind the stage door, one of Jiva's most cherished education programs. And as we wrap up here, enjoy some video our crew shot this past week at Highland Park, a virtual lilac festival, if you will. Stay safe, and we'll see you again soon.